this Valentine's Day, we're breaking up with the idea that love has to come from someone else.
Exactly. I'm gonna Hey everyone, welcome to another podcast episode of Just One Bite. I'm one of your hosts, Nina at Psychofood.
And I'm Tiff at Take One for the Road.
Yeah, and happy Valentine's Day!
Yay!
For both the people in a relationship and for the singles.
Yes, because self-love is...
Period.
Thanks, Nina.
I don't have that.
Almost formed a thought.
But yeah, no, we wanted this episode to also reach out to all the people who are trying to find that self-care that I think we're definitely missing for ourselves. And you know, this year it has been really about revamping, redefining like ourselves and our identity. And you know, I think having that love for ourselves doesn't really come easy because of obviously we have all things going on in the world, but then in our lives. And so sometimes thinking and caring for yourself takes like a second priority, which is kind of crazy because it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, your love for yourself should be the number one priority, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, so this is like just how we've been doing and how we're doing like our self-care. Obviously we're like still figuring it out ourselves. I feel like you probably have more self-care, self-love than I do.
It took a lot to get here, so
no, exactly. And like for me, it's something that's been kind of a struggle just because, you know, I think we both grew up as people who wanted to like people please, and kind of like the stem from that is just not feeling like enough. So how come if you're not feeling enough, it's like, oh, you feel like incompetent in a way. So I think that's what really is a blockage of finding love for myself. But we're trying to switch that around.
Yeah.
You know, so I think what are some ways that you feel like you've been doing to really make sure that you're okay, making sure that you're giving yourself love? Like, is there any rituals that you do for yourself?
I think the number one thing I've really been working on, even just this past year, because it takes time, right? It's not going to happen overnight. It's just like really not overpacking my schedule and really carving out time just for myself. Carving out time just to do nothing even, because that concept was so foreign to me in the past, where I always thought I had to be like doing something. Even if I'm showering, I'm like, I need to shower really fast or else I'm being unproductive, you know? And it was a very unhealthy mindset. And I realized it eventually will catch up to you. And I feel like my mom used to warn me. She's like, you know, you really need to learn to slow down because it's going to catch up to you, you know? And I was like, nah, I'll be fine. I am an extrovert. I have so much energy. I can be out 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. every day, nonstop. Boom, boom, boom. It did catch up to me. And I think with age, you know, you do start to slow down, and I realized I needed to start slowing down because it was affecting my mental health. I was just always like groggy or tired, and I couldn't be my full present self in everything I did. And then it affected like the quality of like content I was producing, how I was at work, you know, my performance at work maybe, or just my health in general, my health and wellness. And so my biggest thing was now I don't say yes to everything. And I think that's also the whole people pleasing thing too, is like it's like I don't like saying no to people, and I also like used to get kind of like FOMO in a way. It's like I want to be involved in everything, I want to say yes to everything, but then I spread myself so thin that I'm not like at my best in everything.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's really about just taking time, even just like carving out a few hours where I just maybe doing something I enjoy doing, or just resting. Like it's okay to rot on my couch, chill, go on my phone, take a nap, do some skincare, go on a walk. I think the walks have been really great for just my mental health and my physical health as well. And then I think just really thinking about the people I hang out with, the people I surround myself with, how I'm really checking in with myself on like how I feel when I'm around certain friend groups. How does that friend make me feel? Do I walk away from, let's say, a conversation or just like a hangout feeling drained or feeling like off, you know? And I feel like when it comes to my friendships, it's like I love my friends so much, and I really wanted to just surround myself with people who would fill my cup. And I feel like that's really important when it comes to self-care. And it's like, it's okay to outgrow friendships. It's okay to realize like maybe people are not a good fit for you. So why am I still putting in so much time and effort when they're not meeting me halfway or being a good friend to me? Like, I don't need to do this people pleasing thing. It's really affecting me, you know? So it's like, you know, taking a step back from people who don't serve me, or who make me feel bad about myself. And that's really also helped in my self-care, I would say, journey.
I think I like that you touched about the people pleasing, because how can you show up for someone else if you're not in your best form?
How do you show up for someone when you can't even show up for yourself?
Exactly. And I think both of us have that similarity where we're high functioning type of people, and we're also people pleasers. But I think for you, like high function, you can still do a lot of things. And for me, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely burnt out from being so high function. But I think the people pleasing is something that I still like struggle with, because it's like in any shape or form, like something little like feeling like you know I need to go to everything, and it's also not something good for yourself, where if you're spreading yourself too thin. And I like that you use that analogy about like, oh, filling your cup, because if your cup is overflowing and you have more, like you don't have as much space, like mental capacity, whatever, time capacity, it's like you don't want to give people like droplets of yourself, because I feel like that is also not very like intentional, and that's not very like it's not going to serve the other person too, because if you're not, again, in your best self, how can you give someone like just like a droplet of you? But you know, I think even if you do have like droplets, all those droplets to spare could be still intentional too, like but if you like, I feel like the cup is still like including yourself, you know, like your family, your friends, your work, like those are so many environments that it's like, how can you actually, like, I'm surprised how people can fit everything in one. And I think the struggle of finding that balance between like yourself and for other people is really like difficult. But I like that you're taking like walks or something, because I try to do the walking a bit more, like the 10,000 steps, but I think I also feel like I don't reach that all the time.
I think it's because, you know, you don't have to, and that's the thing, it's like I feel like we set these high goals for ourselves, but at the end of the day, like, you should be proud for even just like getting outside and walking.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, so what if you don't hit the 10K? You hit 6K, and that's 6K more than what you used to do. And like, for that, like, you should just be proud of yourself for just getting outside, you know?
Exactly. And it's so interesting how we like hold ourselves like, okay, it's because we hear like, oh yeah, 10K, and or if you're like going to the gym, like, oh, I didn't like PR, like I'm not maxed out, like, you know, the point is that you went to the gym, and it's about the consistency about going to the gym. Same thing about going outside. It's the consistency about going outside and moving with intention. But for me, if I'm not reaching those exercise goals like all the time, that's something I really have a hard time with, because I'm like, oh, if I didn't make the gym one day, then oh my god, it sets me up for the whole month.
Oh no, I'm the same too. I understand.
Yeah. And something that I do towards self-care though is to like make sure I'm doing something maybe for me. So I've been trying to experiment with like taking care of like my body, like, or something like something, not cosmetology, but like I try to do a face mask.
Yeah, like skincare, self-care.
I might take like a longer shower one day, just because I'm like, oh, I want to enjoy being in this hot shower, but then I might do it every time. Or something I've been also doing is doing like something creative. And if you guys have ever seen that book or even read the book, it's called like The Artist Way. It's like a workbook that was kind of trending about like reestablishing like goals and stuff, or re-inspiring the artist in you. So it's kind of a popular book if people haven't like seen it. But people like Dochi, for example, she did this workbook and she posted on it on YouTube about her journey. And it's like it's kind of a interesting schedule though. It's like a workbook that has stuff to realign yourself, but then some of the daily tasks and weekly tasks are like each day when you wake up, write blindly almost about anything that comes to mind and put it on paper, whether it's bad. There's no like requirement. It's just putting all your thoughts down, and the idea for that is just to release yourself, for you to start fresh for the start of the day. So you're getting everything that is out of your mind, or it could be something like, oh, you're trying to fill out your tasks and stuff, or thinking about thoughts from the day before, things that you got going on. And when you really put it down on paper, it's supposed to relieve stress, so that again, like, you can start your day off on a good note. But another thing that I really like from that book is that, or that workbook, is that it says that you should do at least 1 hour every week, or I think it's like 1 or 2 hours every week, where you're doing a creative activity. And if you can't do that, some people have said you can replace that with doing something as like a solo date. And I have been trying to do those. Have you seen you know, when you go to like events and perlers, have you seen those?
Wait, what?
A perler is like, you know, when you go to like music events and then you trade candy and stuff, and there's like an image that's flat that people iron. It's a type of thing where you have beads, and you create like a design. Like I made like Stitch or something.
Oh, and then that's what it's called. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
And then I like iron it so that it melts together, so you can see the dye a bit. The design in like 2D. So I've been trying to do that, where it's like maybe it takes like a couple more hours, but that's like a creative activity that I might do like once every 2 weeks or something.
I like that because it's like you don't have to focus on anything really. It's just like, it's kind of like almost mindless, and it's giving your brain kind of a break, but you're still doing something fun that you enjoy.
And that's an example of a creative activity that I'm doing. Or it might be something small, like you could make a Lego set or something. Or like treat yourself to go matcha, but you have to be by yourself. That's like the requirement. You can't be like doing it with other people. Like you can, like, don't hold yourself too strict, but the idea is that you're spending alone time doing something creative that's mindless, but is something with a purpose, because you're creating something out of it.
Mine's going to Home Goods.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's like
my creative outlet is going to Home Goods.
Yes. I mean, like, because that's not really a craft store like Michael's or Joann's, but
no, but there's a lot of creative products there, and it's just, I literally did that this past Monday. I'm like, I wasn't in a good mood, I wasn't feeling great, so during my lunch break I drove myself to Home Goods. Instant like serotonin boost, right? You walk in, granted it's not great for my wallet because I always find something and I always like come home with it, but you know, it's mindless. I don't really have to think, but it brings me so much joy. And I see all these creative products like dishware, you know, or like this is where I bought all my food stools, and that's very creative.
Yeah, I mean, places like that, and places like Joann's and Michael's, I think one of their taglines is like, I remember seeing it because I brought my dog before to Michael's, because I was trying to figure out if you can bring pets, and they're like, oh, we don't want to limit your creativity, and if you find inspiration with your pets, like, you can bring them. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna bring my dog. Yeah, so places like that, like, I think like Joann's, like Home Goods, everything, they want you to feel like inspired or feel like you are creating some space for yourself. And you know, when you create space for yourself in that way, you're making room for more of like your dreams and aspirations and your goals and stuff. Because
you know what, I agree, because you will find something that inspires you, motivates you. Like, was I going into Home Goods thinking I was going to spend $300 the other day on the La Creuset Dutch oven plus the mini version of it because I saw both, and I don't cook. Why am I coming home with this Dutch oven, this expensive Dutch oven? And then in my head I was like, you know what, if I buy this, I spent so much money on it and it's so cute, but I'm gonna have to use it. And now this is gonna force me to start cooking a little bit more, living a healthier lifestyle, because I'll be forcing myself to cook more at home instead of going out to eat. So I like that you were saying how like it gives you more room to like better yourself in a way.
Yeah, I feel like I'm filling your void of like, I can buy that. I'm not using it. I was like, yep. I was like thinking about crafts and stuff. I'm sorry, but she's like, oh yeah, no, definitely shopping is my creativity. But no, I get what you're saying. It's like, let me fix it for you. Like, it's, you know, filling the void, but it's also like filling the void about not being motivated, but it's also like surrounding yourself in an environment that would inspire you. Because another thing that I did see at the beginning of the year especially was like, you should really, like, if you haven't already, design your bedroom or something in a way that you want, or like it could be a place that you spend most in, maybe it's like your kitchen or something, and decorate it in a way that will make you feel like that you're kind of like decluttering, in the sense that you're putting stuff that you want in your place. Like something that I like about Tiff's place is like everything here is like definitely for Tiff, and it's like something that I remember I showed you that one Instagram account that was like so funky, but it was like so much character to it. It was very like retro, but that's also kind of like a trending thing where there's more personality, and when you decorate your room, decorate your space, even if it's like a desk that you're organizing, it's like kind of in your control, but it's also giving yourself love in a way, because you're designing it in a path or in an environment that's like supposed to make you feel encouraged. Like when you look at your desk or you look at that wall that you organized, you're gonna be like, oh, that one looks so nice, you know. And that's kind of the point of like fixing your like space that you really spend a lot of time for, to help re-inspire you or reignite like a motivation or a flame of creativity or something.
That's what I need to work on. I've actually been living here for 3 years now, and for some reason in my head I always thought it would be a temporary space. So I don't have anything on my walls. It's a white wall besides this one light. Like if you were to see the inside of my apartment, it's actually not really decorated. I just have a lot of furniture that's like funky and fun, but my walls are completely blank, and I think maybe this is the year where I really decorate it so it feels like home, and this way it gives me like a creative outlet as well, and it's like also like a form of self-care, because I'm turning in this space into like an actual home that I want to like live in, you know, instead of just treating it as like I'm probably not gonna be here for long, I'm gonna move on. But been here for 3 years now, so, and this is like the longest I've lived by myself in a place. So
I think for me, like I don't have a lot of like shelves and stuff, so it's all kind of low. Like
you have a lot of knickknacks.
I have a lot of knickknacks as well, so for me, I don't have stuff. Like if you're looking at a wall, I only have stuff that reaches like mid wall, like half of the wall, from the ground to that mid wall.
She's got like big nutcrackers.
Yeah, but that's only filling up like 3/4 of the space. But what about the 25% above? Yeah, I don't really have that much like height. And something that they said, like even in architecture, like that's how you actually make the space look bigger and wider if you have like shelves, like floor to ceiling shelves and stuff. So not only will you have storage, but it's also like opening up the room. And do you know, is it Maria Kondo, the one who... Oh, she's like, get rid of anything that doesn't give you joy, like when you touch it. Yes, that's... If you guys don't know who that is, she was like trending like a decade ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But she's like this Japanese lady who had a show on Netflix where it's basically about reorganizing your room or your house or whatever, and like giving intention to all the objects in like your house, and if it doesn't like
bring you joy, then get rid of it.
You have to, she does this thing where you like take something
and you touch it.
like, if you don't want this, you be like,
Does it bring me joy?
Yeah, thank you for this pillow. I'm putting you away in the trash now. Like, it's like kind of cute. Like, she's definitely a lot more like calm, you know.
Yeah.
But I do like that concept where it's like, if it doesn't serve you in a way or doesn't bring you happiness, like, take it away because someone else might enjoy it or like donate it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's also a form of self-care because it's like, if you find it hard to take care of your like self, your body or whatever, try to do it with your space first because those things don't have thoughts, and like for me, if you're someone who's very critical of self, like your room's not going to judge you.
Yeah.
So maybe you can start with that, where like you're fixing your room in a way that you might see fit. Like treat your room like it's someone, but they're not gonna talk bad to you. Like, like that's a benefit. But yeah, those are like some self-care that I think in the physical that you could do, like cleaning up your space, cleaning up even a part of your space. And then something, if you can't like work out or something, like going on a walk, except that maybe you can just go outside or just do 30 minutes at the gym. But then if you can't do that, treat yourself to like a long warm shower or like put on a face mask or something, or not schedule a plan on Sunday or something.
Yeah, just like lay on your couch for an hour. That's okay too.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to rot. It's okay to bed rot. It's okay to make time for yourself at the end of the day. You know?
And I think too, people are so fearful about like giving time to themselves because low-key people are probably avoidant to accept what's in their inner mind. So don't be afraid, but I think like over time when you create like a calming space for yourself, it'll like the acceptance of yourself and your mind, you might open up a bit more. So think about it like, oh, do little things, little successes. It's kind of like that one another Japanese thing. Do you know what I think it's called Kaizen? It's basically this concept where you have like small incremental wins every day, and it's also that same mindset, like be 1% better than you were yesterday kind of mindset. So it's like maybe you like cleaned like your closet one day, or like you put away like the laundry, or you did the laundry or something, or you treated yourself to like a good meal for lunch or something. It's kind of like putting yourself in that mindset, even if you have to force it in a little way. Yeah, I like that. Like, it doesn't have to be something big for you to feel like you accomplished something. And I think that's something I've had to learn too, because I feel like, let's say I'm cleaning my apartment, right? And like I have to sort through all of my clothes, and it's intimidating to me because I hoard a lot of my clothes, and I think I just feel overwhelmed. And in my head, I feel like I need to do everything at once. And that's what's been stopping me from even attempting to do it. Because in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I have to do my entire closet and all the drawers and everything. And this year, I'm like, wait, it's okay to not do it all at once. Like maybe it's just about starting. I have like 3 buckets of clothes I've been meaning to put on sale online for Poshmark, and the thought of having to go through all 3 buckets feels overwhelming to me, so I don't do it. But then now I'm like, what if I just put 1 piece a day online? Like that's a little goal, one, right? So now I think like that's what I've been thinking about doing, is just like, because eventually it'll get done, versus me right now just not doing it and avoiding it because I'm scared. But changing that mindset, like 1 a day is still like a win, and then eventually it'll get done. And then I think eventually you should upgrade and challenge yourself, like, okay, maybe this week you do 1 a day, and then like 2 weeks from now you do two a day or something like that. I don't know, but the idea is to like do it, and then the consistency, and just be consistent, because the habit will follow. But we're all saying this as a form of like a self-care, because it's like you are treating yourself to like a better you than you were yesterday, or like the next day or something. And like being stagnant is kind of scary. So if you're too comfortable, you're too lax, I realize that kind of hurts you too, because coming from someone who's like very like self-sufficient, I'm very like high functioning, it's like I've been at that peak, and then now suddenly that I got burnt out, I'm like super stagnant, I don't want to do anything. And that's also kind of like a bad mindset to be in, because you're just like, okay, I don't want to do anything, but it's like I should be doing something. So little ways to get yourself motivated is a good thing. So do everything you need to do though first. If you feel burnt out, rest, but then come out of it with like, okay, what can I do to upgrade yourself? Yeah. Yeah. And if you're someone who has like issues with like a self-care, like in the sense that like, oh yeah, you don't feel like you deserve it, you know, like I think that's something that's very common with people. Like they don't want to, like they don't feel like they're enough, they don't feel like yeah, I'm allowed to have like a good experience. Like, no, think about it this way. Like if you're not your best self and you want to like connect with friends or something, like wouldn't you want to be good for your friends, your family? And I'm not saying it to do it for like other people, but it's like in a way it's a whole cycle. Like you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for everyone around you, so that you can have like a better experience for yourself too at the end of the day. Yeah. But if you're someone who feels like you're like not enough, like you are for certain you deserve the whole world, like in a way it could be hard to see now, but it's like anyone and everyone deserves like all things, you know. All things good to happen to them, so don't think short of yourself.
Yeah. And I also feel like going off of that, it's like they always say like you end up accepting the love you think you deserve. And if you don't love yourself, you're gonna accept subpar treatment. Does that make sense? So it's like the more you love yourself, the like better love you're gonna receive too, because you hold yourself to like a higher standard. And that, you know, eventually like how you accept love and the love you think you deserve, it affects you later on in life, even in like relationships, right? Like if you don't love yourself, how do you love someone else? And also like how is that person loving you? It goes like, it's like a full circle thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like over time you'll start seeing like your standard for yourself definitely get like upheld, because I think before I was definitely like people pleasing and I was saying yes to everything, and then when I started saying no to things, like I started seeing the logic of why I'm saying no, and it's like, oh yeah, because I'm actually tired. And then you'll start prioritizing like sleep, you know, you might prioritize like having a rest day, and it's like you kind of remember those things. You're prioritizing your own happiness at the end of the day. You know. And it's okay just to say no. It's okay not to appease everyone else, because when you're just doing it so that someone else wouldn't get upset, but then it's like you're upsetting your true inner self. You're hurting yourself for someone else. And I think too, people are always like so in the motion of things. It's like, okay, if you're in the motion of things, you can be in the motion too of like putting yourself in an environment where you're caring for yourself. Like, oh, like if you're going through the motions of work, like, oh, you're waking up, going to sleep, whatever, try putting in the habit of like, okay, put yourself in the motion of putting a face mask on, or put yourself in the motion of like creating like that one healthy meal for dinner or something. And eventually it'll like start to follow and it becomes habit, and then you'll start feeling and reap the benefits of sleeping early, going like getting a healthy balanced meal, you know, like it'll start to add up, just as the way that stress starts to add up too. But and you know, if you have any like tips for anyone else who's watching, like we'd love to like have everyone comment down below of like what their self practices are. Obviously, like it's good to start things that are new. So if there's like a good habit that you put yourself, like maybe shopping for Tiff, maybe for me it's like a face mask, but like
mine is spending money. No.
Yeah. But if there's other things too that you feel like really help you,
let us know.
Or share it down below, because it's like even something as journaling, like I told like I've mentioned to people like it feels weird to journal, and people are like, oh, I haven't picked up a pencil since college, but it's like putting down your thoughts, putting down your feelings, like it's also a release too, because you're putting it in the physical, like you're writing it down. You don't have to keep it.
Weren't you starting a junk journal recently?
I did try to do a junk journal, but it's like I don't have time for cutting the magazines, but I did do a vision board.
Okay.
So I've done a junk journal before, but it's like it's a lot of work, and I don't have any more glue. So, but if that finds you peace, that's also a sort of creative like outlet. So, yeah. Well, that concludes our like weekly episode. So you know where to find us. We're on Spotify and YouTube. We release episodes every week, and you can find us on Instagram at JustOneByPod. But yeah, let us know, and we'll see you next time. Bye.